What I'm saying is I want you to get started. Practice excellent. Think bigger. Reach further. Dig deeper and live from there. Live from that. Live life mogul. Hey, it's Lene Javet, and this is the Live Life Mogul podcast. Yay! You know, we do this every Thursday, 12 o'clock p.m. West Coast time, Pacific Standard Time if you're on the West Coast, 3 o'clock p.m. if you're on the East Coast. We do this live on my Facebook business page, so you got to be over there if you want to talk to me. And I run this like a radio show because I want to be able to talk to you. I want to hear from you. I want to answer your questions. If you don't watch us live, you can always check us out on the replay. You can hear us in any one of your favorite podcast platforms. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, we're in the Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. So we are around the globe. You can check out the Live Life Mogul podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting with one of my good friends, Mr. Duane Bluestein. And I'm going to tell you guys who he is and why it's important to me that I'm sitting here talking to him today. But before I do that, for those of you that are tuning in because you wanted to hear me talk about partnerships, I'm going to table that conversation a little bit. We will have that conversation because I want to talk to you guys about partnerships, sponsorship, what it's like to collaborate in your business. And I think that that's important. But because I had the opportunity to sit with Duane today, I wanted to talk about something different. We used to use this hashtag called Breadcrumbs. And I'm going to tell you guys what that is and how that looks like when you leave breadcrumbs for somebody else to pick up. So let me just start with this. I met Duane I don't even know how long ago, at least I've been an entrepreneur for 6 years. So maybe 7 years ago. And he had a podcast. It wasn't even a podcast. I guess it was a YouTube video series, a TV series network called The Blue Wave. And he would bring people on and talk to people. And he asked me, he was like, hey, I think you would be a great co-host. And I was like, nah, I don't think I can't get in front of people and talk. And he was like, well, I think you could do this. You know, I'll teach you. And so he literally took me under his wing, with the Blue Way Talk Show, and nurtured me to be able to get in front of the screen and talk to people. We did it in front of a green screen. I didn't know where to look. He actually is the person who taught me about one shoot. Like he did a one-shot take. Like we're gonna start, we're gonna finish. There's no edits. There's no try agains. Like you say everything you got to say, and we're going to keep it moving. That's literally how I learned how to do this. And so when he said, let's do lunch today, I was like, hey, let's do a podcast together. Like, let me have you come on my podcast so I can introduce people to you, but also just talk about what it looks like when you see something in somebody else and you nurture it. Because we all have come across somebody that we've met or that we've seen, and we've saw something in them that they didn't see in themselves. And we have the potential to either be envious or jealous of it, or nurture it and help to grow it and help to pull it out. And that's what he did for me. He brought me onto his show. I didn't know half of nothing. I was talking fast. I didn't know where to look. My heart would be beating fast, and he literally nurtured me. And here we are, full circle. And he's on my podcast. So I need you guys to help me welcome my good friend, Duane Bluestein. Yay! The crowd goes crazy. Aisha says, I'm grateful that Duane connected us years ago. Even Aisha, even meeting Aisha Cogborn, who does Platform for Purpose. You guys go check out Platform for Purpose. Check out Aisha. Even that connection. A lot of my professional connections have been because of that work that we did at the Blue Wave. I don't even know if I had left my job yet when we first started working together. But before I even get into that, let me just give him an opportunity to kind of say who he is, give you guys some of his background, how he got here, what he does. Tell the people who you are. You guys got to speak to the microphone. Here you go.
Oh, I get a microphone. Thanks. It's been a long time since I grabbed a microphone and was speaking into it. This is crazy. Hello, audience. I know this is weird. This is a podcast. I usually can just look into a camera and be talking and have something to say, but right now I'm stumbling. Entrepreneurship is my heart, my love. I've been doing it, 25, 30 years. The talk show was just a platform for us to just kind of get together and laugh. We thought we could just get an hour show, 4 15-minute segments, talk about something, and whatever came off the dome, just spoke on it. And, we started bringing in big names and big people, and, things always manifest the way they're supposed to. And it just manifested, and like the Aishas. I mean, she did a show for me, and Lene, and we just brought on so many women that I knew that women empowerment was going to be such a great movement that I needed to get in front of it. And that was the whole idea, was to lay the breadcrumbs in front of some great women, and really giving them the platform to kind of shine, instead of saying, hey, let me show you and guide you and be the front face, and then having y'all on behind. Wasn't even like that. It was like, lay it out there, let them see how it is, and kind of run with it. And that's what you did. You ran with it, and it's great because you can sit back and see all of it manifest through the Aishas and the Lene's and the Marcy's, and some great speakers out there, where it gave me the ability to go somewhere else and say, all right, let me start planting some other seeds other places, because y'all gonna come back and plow that down too. So I appreciate you having me on. I'm putting the microphone back down, y'all, because I would talk, because I get excited. I got the mic, and I'm feeling good about being able to have the mic, but I'm putting it back down. Microphone, one check, one.
Okay, so let me. I want to talk to you guys. So me and Duane created this concept of breadcrumbs, which is basically leaving a trail for somebody else. Okay, that's basically what it means. It means to leave a trail for somebody else, and that's literally what he did for me, right? So let me ask you. So, because somebody might be feeling like, I would like to pass the mic, or I would like to leave a breadcrumb, or I would like to bring somebody else along. What does that look like? Like, how do you see something in somebody? What are you looking for? How do you know somebody that you might want to spend time with, or plant a seed with, or bring onto a platform to work with?
A lot of times for me, it was always, and I don't want to get spiritual, but it was, it's the spiritual movement. It's a feel. I mean, you have an intuition that really says, hey, that person has it. And my mom used to always tell me, treat everybody like Jesus, and whatever that person is, I don't care if they're black, white, yellow, green, gay. It doesn't matter. But if you do the right thing and give that love, you'll receive something back. And then the door just keeps opening up. And I always say, just play it out. Don't allow anything to shut off, as long as you set it out there and you do it the right way. Now, we don't do it the right way all the time. Sometimes we ignore the intuition because I don't feel that person. They didn't take the direction that I wanted them to take. But at that time, it wasn't their time to take that direction, but they put it in their back pocket, and they know one day I'm be able to have the confidence to be able to pull it out. But it's not our job to say, you were supposed to do it at that time because it was going to happen in that time. 7 years ago, I might have seen in you, hey, I needed a co-host because I needed a co-host. I needed somebody to get on the mic and talk crazy with me. But I never saw 7 years later the 15 different platforms that you're on. The blessing is not just your 15 different platforms. You have thousands and thousands of other people that are following that same platform, that are teaching our kids. I mean, when we were doing the YouTube page, people weren't getting paid for that. We were just doing it just because it was kind of a cool thing to do. And then now you see kids getting paid millions and millions of dollars for it. And it's a blessing because you're like, wow, we were on the right page. It's not, we were ahead of our time. It was just the time was right then that we put it out there, and it's going to come back around for us. And like I say, I see good friends like Cece Peniston. Cece was on the show. And I remember reaching out to Cece and saying, what are you doing? She was like, I'm just hanging out. And now you can't get a hold of her because she ain't just hanging out. She's everywhere. She's working. But those are the little things, those little encouragements that you use with breadcrumbs, because she leaves the breadcrumbs for me to follow. And I leave the breadcrumbs that she's given me for everybody else to follow. So it's just more of a blessing to be able to say, hey, you're Jesus to me. So I'm going to just keep giving you breadcrumbs, because that's what I want to do. Is I want to have a full crown. I mean, that, at the end of the day, that's what I want, is to be able to have a full crown. So
I love that. So you know what? What I would tell a person, because I know somebody is asking, well, how do you get somebody to work with you? Because there are people who want to get put on. Somebody wants to be brought onto a podcast. Somebody wants to be sponsored. Somebody wants to do collaboration. Somebody is sitting somewhere like, I'm ready to say yes. So what would you tell that person who is watching or listening to the replay and is like, I'm ready to get put on? What should they be doing on a regular basis? I have an answer. I know what I want to say, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
you know what? It's, for me, it's not about putting someone on. When someone reaches out to me and they say, hey, Duane, what do I need to do first? I want to listen to what you want to do. I want to understand what your passion is, not what my passion is. I know what my passion is. My passion is to fuel your fire. If I can fuel your fire and get you excited, that gets me excited. So I want to learn more about you and to get your energy level up to really understand, why is this so important to you? Why is this passion that you have in front of you? Is it real? Is it something that you're going to start and just kind of put to the side once the energy kind of burns off? It's that person, once the energy burns off, that says, no, I need more, I need more, I need more. Those are the ones that you just keep liking, pushing, pressing, saying, what have you done today? Are you doing a little more? Because we all need encouragement. We always want encouragement. We just want people to encourage us that are like-minded. I mean, I put up a daily post of something that is positive. I want to do a positive message, even though when the days are down, if I put a positive message, one person's going to say, yes, I agree. And if that's that one person says, yes, I agree, again, another jewel. I like jewels.
So what I would say, like I would tell you, because when we first started working together, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was afraid. I was scared. I'd never done a podcast. I'd never been recorded. I never did a YouTube video at that point. I was afraid of my shadow. I was afraid of my voice. I didn't think people were going to want to listen to me. I didn't think I had anything to add to the conversation. I didn't think I had any value. And literally it was practice. Before it was practice, it was saying yes to an opportunity that I was afraid of. And so that's one of the things I would tell somebody to do. If somebody sees something in you and somebody wants to speak something into you, or plant a seed or nurture or help grow, don't be afraid to say yes. Don't be afraid to take an opportunity. And the next step is, if that person wants to nurture you, to help you grow in that area, and they're going to teach you, and they're going to show you the ropes, and they're going to help you with your cadence and where to look and how to speak, and you talk too fast, and take advantage of those opportunities. That is literally how you grow. And then they network you. They introduce you to different people. Marcy's, Aisha's. I think I may or may not have known Dr. Julia. I'm not sure. CC, Tiffany Davis. Like, there's just a lot of different people that I was able to come across and meet because of this relationship. So that's super important when we're talking about living in your purpose and not being afraid of who you are, and not being afraid of your strengths. It's getting around people who will see something good in you and will water it and will feed it and will not be envious of it, but will push you and promote you into spaces, into areas, into things that you may be afraid of. I mean, that's literally how I got here today. I will tell you the truth. I didn't know I was going to do a podcast and we were working together. I didn't even know I was going to be doing these things I'm doing in my business, writing books and teaching and coaching. At that time, I was still focused on Courtsire, and all I was wanting to do was help people to be positive and live positive lives. Who knew it would come full circle and I'd be here in my own podcast hosting based on sitting with him 7 years ago on his platform. And now I'm here today.
That's the road to 777.
He said that's the road to 777. And so it's super important that we leave breadcrumbs and that we have the next generation. And it could be the next generation. It could be other women. It could be other men. It could be people in your family. It could be your clients. It could be your customers. It just has to be somebody that you're leaving a breadcrumb from. And I will tell you, even now, 7 years later, even though we don't speak or talk on a regular basis, the love, the support, the like every now and then, the love every now and then, the inbox that says, I see you, like that matters. Like, you don't just plant a seed or speak into somebody's life and nurture them and turn your back on them. Like, you keep the relationship going, you keep nurturing it, you keep growing, you keep speaking life into individual situations in their life and letting them know that you have their back. So what are you working on right now?
Well, I got grandbabies now, so it changes the perspective of life. But we still have the meal prep company. We had just got approved for a $1 million grant. Yay, YWP, Youth World Education Project. Again, someone else that I partnered with. We do an annual father-daughter gala. Right now, our health and wellness bid allows us to kind of put more opportunities into kids. So our biggest thing is a lot of kids can't pay for those 2 years of junior college, those first 2 years. And that's our biggest goal, is to be able to raise that money and be able to pay for their scholarships. We use the meal prep to help out freshmen, sophomores, and juniors that are in high school that can't really afford meals. So our biggest thing is the meal prep was to learn how to get nutritious, calorie-based meals, to be able to get it out to the schools and be able to get in front of the kids. the kids, especially during the summertime when their little brothers and sisters are home by themselves, or we want to be able to feed them too. So we're constantly trying to feed as many, students as possible. We use the platform of social media, like everyone else, to really kind of reach out for new students. We have a big African American youth movement that's going to happen. I want to say it's in November, and we'll have close to 150 students. We did our big event at ASU in May. So, I mean, I stay busy. But it's more now behind the scenes, the more let me develop something that I've been blessed with. So now I have the opportunity to say, okay, let me start this. We were talking earlier about opening up just another spot for us to kind of network with. And I have the opportunity now to be able to say, yeah, I can help you out with that. So it's great to be behind the scenes instead of in front of the camera, but I'm still working. I mean, the babies are around a little more where I have to say I can't be out all night, but, I am still around.
So you know what? You made some really good points about talking about sometimes you're in the front and sometimes you're in the back. And even when you're in the back, and I don't mean the back like the back of the bus, I mean behind the scenes. Even when you're behind the scenes, you can still be as impactful and influential. And I say that because sometimes when we're talking about breadcrumbs, individuals, entrepreneurs, professionals, people think they have to be the person that's putting the breadcrumbs down. And sometimes you're the person that's picking the breadcrumbs up. I just want to put that out there. And here's the thing: you have to pick them up.
Because if you don't pick up the breadcrumbs, that's your problem. So many people put down the breadcrumbs and expecting you to say, "Dude, eat." And everybody was like, "Oh, I don't want to get paid right now. I don't want to get paid. It's not my time to get paid." No, you got to get paid. You got to eat. You have to eat. As much as you're putting it down, you have to pick up them loaves. Because that's what I'm picking up now. Is I'm picking up loaves. I'm picking up baskets. I'm not picking up crumbs anymore. I'm picking up baskets. And you have to want to pick up baskets because there's no possible way for you to give out bigger blessings if you're trying to still pick up little breadcrumbs. So I learned about the breadcrumbs. Now I've built a loaf. So you got to kind of stay focused on saying, yeah, you're going to grab that and not turn it down.
He just preached the whole sermon right there. Stop. Breadcrumbs is cool, but at some point you want to get to a place where you're picking up loaves, y'all. You want to be picking up loaves. But what he said was right. Sometimes you're picking them up. Sometimes you're baking the loaves. Sometimes you're serving the loaf. Sometimes you're cutting. There's a season for everything. Recognize your season. Know what season you're in. If you're baking bread at this time, support somebody else who has the bread. If you're cutting the bread, if you're putting the bread out, if you're serving the bread, if you're dropping the bread, all of it's a process. All of it is an ecosystem, and we all have to work together. You might be the person who's giving the hand up, or you might be the person who needs the hand. And both parts, both seasons are valid. Both seasons are important. I still will say that, when it comes to Duane specifically, I'll speak. He is always has his hand out, and his hand is always open, and I'm always like, hey, like he's always giving me a hand up, and because of that, I'm able to then turn around and open up my hand to somebody else. He taught me how to do podcasting. He taught me how to do my videos. He taught me about editing, and now I can go and teach somebody else. Now I can apply it and teach it. So I went through the season of picking up the breadcrumbs to now being in the season where I get to bake my own bread and leave breadcrumbs and loaves for somebody else. It's a beautiful thing when we do it like that, when we don't get so caught on ourselves, or we don't get so caught on our own season, but we're looking at how else can I plant into somebody else's season? How can I help somebody else bake bread? How can I help somebody else cut their bread and leave breadcrumbs? Like that's literally what he's done for me, so that I can be a blessing to other people. Kadir says respect. Hey, Abdullah. Hey, Melvin. Hey, Plum. Hey, you guys, how you doing? And so we are literally sitting outside of a coffee shop, and I'm not going to keep this podcast or him out here. It is September in Phoenix. We're sitting outside on the patio. It is warm. So I'm going to go ahead and close the podcast out, but I really just wanted to take a minute. And I think it's important that we take a minute to speak into the people's lives who have spoken into our lives, and that we big up them, and we say thank you, and we say that we appreciate you. And I can honestly say and give credit where credit is due. I have come a long way. I still have a long way to go, but I don't mind sharing and showing the people who have helped me get here where I am. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get here by myself. I didn't just one day wake up and figure this stuff out and was like, I'm about to get on. It's because of people like Duane and others who have said, I see something in you. Come here, let me show you how to do this. Even if he wasn't saying it in that manner, he was like, I need a co-host. But he's like, I see something in you as a co-host that I think I could work with. Come on over here, let me see what we can do. And because of that energy, that spark, now I'm sitting here with you guys. So feed into other people. Don't be afraid to plant seeds. Put down some breadcrumbs. Pick up some loaves. Like, do what you have to do to make your business better, your life better, our community better, our ecosystem better, our children better. Like, it starts with us. We are the leaders. We are the change. We are the people that we're looking for in the world. Like, that's us. That's you. You're that person. You just have to rise to that occasion. With that being said, do you want to leave the people with anything before we close out? Tell them where they can find you, how they can follow you, how they can engage with you, whatever the case might be.
Hey, Jasmine Jenkins, down it. Crazy Ups, Dr. Will Moreland, Dr. Burnett, gosh, so many, Robert Branscombe. I mean, there's so many great leaders out here in Arizona. A lot of times we get the stigma of there's nothing going on in Arizona. We don't support Roy Tatum, Derek Washington.
I had breakfast with Roy, and then I came
Roy,
here.
I'm telling you, like, these are some great guys that I've been around for a very long time. The only thing that I would say is don't stop, just continue. I mean, we are a very young city. I mean, this place is very, very young, so there's an opportunity to keep growing. I would love to continue to press on about the women empowerment. I mean, I got a mama, sister, auntie. You know, I got to keep pressing. I'm gonna keep pressing. The next thing is I need y'all to get out there and play some golf. So when y'all get out there and play some golf, we can get a whole bunch of women out there and to raise some more money. Again, these are just different opportunities that we're here to really kind of support you guys, and I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on. And crazy love, and I'm around. I'm just not in the camera scene anymore, but I am around. And thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's our show today for the Live Life Mogul podcast. Big ups to Duane Bluestein. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you to all of you guys on Facebook that tuned in for the live recording. You know, I love you, my Facebook audience. If you're listening to this on the replay, please like it, please share it, please download it, please let people know that the Live Life Mogul podcast is here. We do this every week on Thursday. If you want to watch it live on the Facebook page, it's my business page, Lene Javet. If not, you can always listen to the replay on your favorite podcast platform. We are everywhere. You can follow me online at Lene Javet. That's LaneeJavet. And I will see you at our next recording, or you can check me out on my Facebook page when I go live, because I do that all the time. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.